So, welcome back to the arena with me and Sutonia once again, a different arena yet again. Here with Test against Forsaken Empire. So, Test bring in their three golems again. They've switched up a little bit this time, three golems, two Kirins, but they've traded the Vulture for an Onyx and a Stork. Sutonia, what do you make of Forsaken Empire?
Yes, the Forsaken Empire have bought a pretty interesting comp too. Bargus, Basilisk, two Drake Navy issues, a Rapier, an Orpheus, a Stork, two Griffins, and a Skybreaker. So their take on the Bargus is you just bring one with Nighthawk, or sorry, with Drake Navy issues, and bring in throw in two Griffins and a Rapier. So there's a bunch of Ewar, a bunch of webs.
Yeah, so to nobody's surprise, today is in fact Barguest Day. Barguest's left, right, and centre. As we saw 6 in the last match. Just the one in this one, Test choosing the 3 golems again that they brought in their first match. So obviously going to be a little bit tankier than the Barguests. I'm going to assume they're cruise golems again. So a little bit more sort of projection. But yeah, I mean, Barguest's flavour of the month apparently. Kieran just immediately goes down of Flip.
Yeah, Kirin is gone. We're seeing some energy transfer going to the Basilisk from the Barguest. Test were shooting this Basilisk, but it looks like he's doing okay now. It looks like they're swapping over to the Griffins now. The Griffins are probably causing problems to the Golem as they Test lose the second Kirin. So no more remote reps now for the Test side. But I assume the Golems at least have a pretty powerful self tank. Although the Stork and the Onyx are probably gonna be not long for this world.
Yeah, the Stork and Onyx are left out in the dark here. I mean, this is good use of the Rapier here from Forsaken Empire. They've said, well, I mean, the Golems are happy to just sit still. They don't really care about the Rapier, so let's just use those webs and paints to just wipe this Kirin and Stork off the face of the server. And yeah, they're just immediately gone within the first minute of the match. And now this Basilisk of Keeps is taking chunks of damage, but it's only 3 Cruise Golems and an Onyx, so there's not a huge amount of control or application. He does seem to be taking chunks, actually. As I say that, cast a curse, he will now die, and then of course now I'm saying he's dying, he's going to rep back to life.
Yeah, he does have a bunch of shield bots on him, and he is, presumably he does have an X-high speed, and he does have a energy transfer from that Bargus, so he might be able to get a few charges off on his capacitor.
No, he seems to actually be getting cap transferred by the Drake Navy issues, and the Orthrus and the Rapier. Everything seems to be cap transferring that Basilisk, but he does in fact go down anyway. That's weird. That's very interesting.
I thought this would be an easy cleanup for Forsaken Empire, but now it's going to be a tough one. Can they? Let's see. It looks like the Onyx is holding about half shields. I'm not sure if there's any reason for them to kill the Onyx. I think all of their DPS is long range, right? So they don't really have to clear out that 20 kilometers scram. And I'm not sure the Onyx is really bringing much in the way of DPS. Presumably it is, I think it's rapid light, so those don't actually have a great range on the Onyx because it doesn't get a range bonus to those specifically.
Yeah, I mean, now this is just going to be a sort of race against a sort of stat stick DPS race, because these 3 golems are obviously just going to be pumping out DPS this whole time. They're pumping out reps, they're anchored up on top of each other with cap transfers and stuff, so they're going to be tough nuts to crack. So it's just a matter of can they kill, the Barguest, the Drake Navies, and sort of alleviate some of this damage beforehand. But like I mentioned, all those cap transfers going on to the Basilisk, these are very specific fits. The Drake Navy issues with the cap transfers, the Orthrus and Rapier with the cap transfers, those are specific fits. So they were clearly sort of anticipating playing around that aspect of those fits, and with the Basilisk just gone, those slots are obviously pretty much useless now.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that they might have XSBs on the Drake Navy or on the Bargus where it could help a little bit. Griffin getting cleaned up now. Probably going to see Enoch from since Griffin gone now too. Yeah, so this is going to be a tough match, I think. We're seeing all of the golems at about the same hit points, which is kind of strange. I guess that's probably just maybe the Skybreaker clearing drones and just doing AoE DPS to everything.
Yeah, the golems don't really seem to be caring too much right now. They're just kind of chilling. And honestly, I'm not sure if Forsaken Empire have enough damage here left to break them. I mean, as I say that, Soldaria starts taking chunks. I guess they might have been clearing rep bots with the Drake Navies and with the Rapier and stuff, but Soldaria is now clearly the primary. He goes into low shield, but he starts charging back up again. So, I mean, these cap transfers, it's obviously hard for us to judge how effective it's being and how long he can tank, how much cap he has left, how much heat he's got left. But for the time being, he's holding, and Windjackal is taking damage at about the same rate. He's also taking chunks. He goes into armor now.
Yeah, if they lose Windjackal, it's going to be really tough to break this golem. I think the reason why is like the Stalk links have probably expired now because it died like about 2 minutes ago. So the golems don't have the benefit of the links anymore, so they don't have quite the active tank. Especially that we saw in the previous match where the Vulture was still alive. But it looks like Windjackal's Bargus just can't survive under pre-cruise golems, and it's gone. So we only have the Orthrus and 2 Drake Navies left for DPS, really, and whatever the Rapier can add with rapid lights here and there.
Yeah, and of course these golems, like I said, they're all cap transferring each other. They're going to be cap transferring Soldarius to try and allow his booster to keep running. And as soon as DPS gets taken off the field and the Vargas goes down, he's going to be able to maybe tank a bit more and maybe start repping back up again. Rather than taking chunks of damage, you'll start regenerating slowly. And once you reach that point, it's sort of the point of no return. If you can't whittle him down, then he's going to start repping back up. And obviously, he's eventually going to reach full health again. So yeah, I mean, massive credit to Test. Last week bringing 8 players and beating the 10-man Ride My Turtle comp. This week bringing 6 players in the first match.
The Orthrus is going up the arena. The Orthrus is gone. It's boundary validated.
This is incredible. Test, just wow. Massive props to Test here. Not just for their performance last week, but for their performance this week as well. They're taking these undermanned comps and making them look good. God damn, they're good.
Yeah, they're actually going to make it into the final here, which is really interesting.
Yeah, I suppose on the other hand, there is the aspect of, I mean, they've brought both, fairly similar comps with the triple golem both games, so maybe they'll be a little bit telegraphed for their final match in the final. But of course, they could again switch it up and bring the double Lashak undermanned comp they brought last week. I mean, they've clearly got practice.
They can't because the Shaq's banned.
Oh, of course. Okay, well, they are. How silly of me to forget that. Well, yeah, they can't do that then. So I mean, maybe they'll be forced to bring the golems, or they'll have to find some other fancy undermanned comp. But yeah, this is very impressive.
I mean, they could do paladins, I guess, if a Salmad or something. There isn't really much options.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. This is very exciting.
Yeah, looks like this is cleanup mode for Test now. I believe Windjackal, the captain of the other team, has put GF in local, so I guess they've decided that the match is over.
Yeah, so as soon as that Vargas went down, they didn't have enough damage to break through the active tank of these golems anymore. They brought the Kirins, they brought the Stalk, but I mean, once they cleared enough damage, they were sort of irrelevant. These 3 golems just packed so much damage and so much tank in and of themselves that everything else is sort of irrelevant a little bit at that point. I just want to ask you what you think of that sort of. It was kind of a pseudo tinker on the Basilisk, I guess, with all the remote capacitors coming from the Drake Navies and the Rapier, and of course the Orthrus as well. What do you think of that? Do you think that could be a viable strat?
Yeah, it definitely seems like it could be a powerful, especially kiting comp, because these were like heavy missile Nighthawks. With a Bargas, you got a Rapier, so it's like pretty hard for any team, like especially rush comps, to get on top of them. It's just unfortunate they went against golems that have cruise missiles, and it looks like the cruise missiles just do enough DPS that the Basilisk can't hold under regular active reps. What I think is interesting. What do you think about swapping the Vulture out for an Onyx and a Stalk? Like, what do you think? What is the Onyx really bringing here? Aside from potentially having a 20 comp to scram to maybe like stop a Vindies getting on top of the golems or something.
Honestly, I think I preferred the Vulture variation. Maybe they just had an 8th guy turn up and say, well, let's work something out so we can still get links. So let's stick one of them in a Stalk and the other one in a Hick. But yeah, I think I actually preferred the 7-man variation with the Vulture, because nobody wants to shoot a Vulture. They're so tanky. Their links are very strong, stronger than the Stalk. And obviously with these self-sufficient golems, ensuring that you get that link duration for as much of the match as possible is of utmost importance. And yeah, we saw the Stalk just absolutely melt at the start of this match. So yeah, I think the Vulture would have been a better setup here, personally.
And the match is officially over now, with the winner being Test Alliance Music-Law. We'll see them in the final. We'll still see Forsaken Empire again in the bronze match for 3rd place. So we'll throw it back to the studio.